Leadership has to do with solving problems and making lives better. Leading has to do with taking risks, and in most cases, doing so on behalf of the people. It is not one of the easiest jobs. It is hard. It is arguably one of the most difficult jobs on earth. You could be a great singer, a great violinist, a great architect, a great footballer, but that does not make you a great leader. It does not even make you a great leader in your particular industry. It, however, gives you a good platform to set your leadership agenda, but it does not guarantee any leadership success. Today, many people take courses in leadership and in project management in order to enhance their CVs and perhaps increase their value in the marketplace. But this does not work well for them because they still remain at the same leadership level. This is because they have acquired certificates and academic credentials, but are yet to truly grow as leaders. This is the same reason we see people study MBA in finance but still broke, MBA in entrepreneurship but still working for other entrepreneurs, most of whom do not have a single degree. Leadership is a skill. A skill is more than just a discipline. You do not just attend lectures about it and sit exams. It is a practice. It is not about what you know. It is about what you are, what you become. And this, more than any other, is a critical life skill. There is no much success otherwise. Engineer or graduate. Once, when in an elevator, I overheard this conversation. You say they are looking for a job or an internship. They said a job. And they are unable to even identify a component in such a simple machine. Graduates, are they serious? Tell them to look for internship. We are looking for qualified engineers who are able to work, not people who are coming to learn. It was clear that having a certificate in engineering did not make those job seekers engineers. They needed to practice and gain experience and master the necessary skills. This is what would finally make them engineers. It's not any different in leadership. It is how entrepreneurship is. Life pays for the skill, not the knowledge. Life pays for results, not for efforts or intentions. I am not in any way belittling school or college education, but it should be obvious that in college, you attend lectures on leadership by people most of whom have not really been in recognizable leadership positions. I hope you understand what I mean. You have obviously heard of great inventors who did not go to school. It works the same in every discipline, I guess. In order to be a leader, in order to hone leadership skills, one requires to take deliberate steps in the right direction. Besides reading, like you are doing now, you must purposefully choose to put the acquired knowledge into practice. You must choose to study through observation and learn from your daily experiences. The experiences may be a waste if you do not take interest in them. That is why it is said that no experience is wasted. Every experience counts. And the worse it is, the more you should learn from it. Robert Kiyosaki's rich dad told him that all important subjects are studied outside the classroom. That is true. It is my humble opinion that leadership does not really have defined boundaries or syllabus. It entails all in all. And that is perhaps why the phrase, all things rise and fall on leadership, holds true. In our talks and trainings on this subject, we tell people that we provide leadership training. But if you check the individual topics we discuss, you may hardly see the word leadership featuring. Why? This is because leadership is a very wide subject with very many topics. Emotional intelligence is leadership, goal setting is leadership, and even selling is leadership. Personal growth is all about becoming better, growing our leadership ability and making a positive difference in the lives of people.
Thank you, Dr. Eda. Thank you, Dr. Eda, for that. Now we go to reflections. Chairman, can you please tell us your pick out in this in the script that you have read today?
Yeah, we all are able to see that in leadership is not about, I have a degree in leadership. It doesn't make you any great leader. And I think this is something we see every day. At the moment, we've seen in our country, even choosing elections, they are trying to put benchmark on schooling, which is a good thing. But again, what we can observe is we have people who are highly schooled, but not good leaders. But we tend to mistake people for their higher education to be better leaders. It's far from the truth. I see this in the universities as well, where you see somebody being called a professor is expected to be having more merit to be a leader, to be a vice chancellor in a university, which does not necessarily make leadership sense. I don't know why. But what we are talking about leadership is, a leader is this person who solves problems. There is an analogy I like using, and maybe I've put it also in this book, that you see, leaders are miracle workers, just like Jesus was. Your people expect you to always solve problems. They come to you with different problems, they come to you with different needs, but they somewhat expect you to have solutions, to have answers to their problems. You look at uh, some people coming to Jesus, they reach Andrew. Andrew goes to Peter, and what are they asking? Does your master pay taxes? And they don't know what to say. And so they go to Jesus. They expect an answer. And Jesus tells them, they say, you see, some people have come here and they're asking whether you're paying taxes. And Jesus does what? Sends Peter to go and fish. You wonder how that can relate to the taxes. And then he tells him, don't worry, when you reach there, do your fishing, because Peter was a fisherman, so that wasn't a big deal. But then the first fish that you catch, in the mouth, you will get enough money to pay for tax, both mine and yours. That is leadership. Always somewhat people expect you to have idea on how people will get through the problems that they are experiencing. If a leader is not solving a problem, that's no leader. If problems persist, they are always there. And this is one thing I like saying. A leader does not need to solve recurrent problems. If you solve it today, so that you solve it again tomorrow, you solve it the day after, something is wrong with you. You should solve problems and move forward to other problems and bigger problems. And the bigger problems you solve, the more valuable you are in the marketplace, the higher your ranking in leadership. So we should have a positive attitude towards problems. We should find solutions to problems, and people should have that confidence in us that we are able to and shall help them to overcome the challenges that they experience, also by growing them, not by babying them, by growing them to be leaders and able to solve, by mentoring, by apprenticeship and things like that. So that is it, solving problems and not just acquiring certificates. It's not about knowledge. It's, I love saying that there is no difference between somebody who knows something and doesn't do it and somebody who doesn't know. There is no difference between you and a book if you just acquire that knowledge and keep it in your mind, because the book also knows it. What makes the difference, therefore, is what you're doing with that particular knowledge. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Brenda, I saw Brenda somewhere. How are you? I'm sure you're okay, and I'm so sure you'll catch up with us. Don't worry. Madam Reader, Dr. Eda, what are your reflections? What are your pickup points from this script that you've just read?
I think this is a really brilliant script, and it talks about life the way it is. And even if I look at my own life and my childhood, all the children who used to get straight A's, right now they're working for the ones who got C's and D's. And so there's something much more different about leadership. I think emotional intelligence is a very big one. But the beauty about emotional intelligence is that's something you can learn. And having a high IQ doesn't necessarily mean that you have a high EQ. And yes, so it's very true that I had never thought about leadership being a definition defined as solving problems and making lives better. I always looked at the angle of being able to influence people. But to get it here in black and white is a real eye-opener. Because I always thought it's to influence people to work towards a particular goal or a vision. But actually it's true that in reaching our goal and our vision, we're solving problems. Yes, and there's no experience that is wasted. Yeah, life is full of challenges, and the most important subjects are taught outside the classroom. That's why I think we need a complete overhaul of the educational system, because the educational system is not preparing people for life. Most of the employers that I talk to, because my age mates are CEOs and very senior people in government offices, they say that the current crop of graduates is a disaster. They don't know how to write an application letter. They don't know how to interact with people. So being a straight A student doesn't necessarily mean that you have good leadership skills or that you're going to be valuable in the workplace. I always tell young people to go for internship and be able to delay gratification. Volunteer your time, and there's nothing like wasted time. Volunteering our time makes us learn many more things about life. So to be able to delay gratification and go for internship positions where you're not being paid anything, but you're actually learning a lot, is how we'll make good leaders. The people who are most learned in the institutions can actually be the biggest disaster to the institution. And like the passage says, that once you've made a positive difference in the lives of people, then that makes you a leader. Yeah, those are my reflections.
Thank you. Noel, go on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eda.
But I love the angle we are discussing. You see, like right now, I was asking people that what makes him more qualified above the rest of the contestants. He has been a governor. There was nothing much except for corruption scandals, one after the other. And you see, people don't know how to evaluate. They are talking of, oh, he gave business to so-and-so who is from the county. He was able to employ gee, how many people. And you wonder, is that what we are looking for in choosing a leader? Are people's lives better? Whoever was a governor there. And we've seen in the counties, I was saying like our county has been a disaster. When people get really sick, they've got to travel to other counties for hospital, for treatment. There are no hospitals. So then if they are there, then the workers are on strike almost all the times. And if they are not on strike, then the medicines are not there. You can't get the drugs and you can't get an ambulance. You've got to pay for it. And the roads to take you to the hospital are damaged. They are not there. I was telling some people the other day that you see, if you are sick somewhere in the village, you can't get an ambulance. First of all, because there are no roads. You need to get a motorbike. You are sick and you are on a motorbike for some times, you can die on a motorbike. When you reach where the ambulance can be acquired, you may not even have the money for the ambulance because you need to pay for it. You reach the hospital, you still don't have the drugs, you still don't have the doctors. You need to travel far and wide. While the same people being given opportunities don't need those hospitals, they don't need those roads, they use choppers. They don't need hospitals, they go abroad, yeah, and other places where there are better facilities. Then we wonder where the problem is, where we are, how we choose our people, how we make our priorities, what makes us give preference to one leader over the other or one purported leader. The other thing I love saying is there is a difference between having a leadership position and being a leader. You can have a position of leadership, but that doesn't mean you are a leader. And we've seen that many times even in our country. Somebody is put there, then there are leaders behind, controlling from the periphery. So it's a big disaster having the credentials, having the powers that are given to you through the office, but then having the authority, having the ability to actually lead people and propel their lives towards a positive direction.